Hello everyone, here we are at Walibi Holland for our first ever visit and my final on this tour. We're here on a Tuesday. It's not necessarily the Halloween night event tonight, but we're here for one primary reason, which is to ride Kondaa, their brand new coaster for last year, which definitely has been, I've had my sights on for quite some time. And also Tikiwaka, their Gerstaller bobsleigh coaster features here too, as well as a power wave. Just over 6 hours at the park that we have today, so it should be a pretty decent day. Hopefully we'll get a couple re-rides in, and of course I'll give you all of my reviews once that's done. Walibi Holland, first time, last park on the tour. Let's get inside. We already have good news today, as information services has indicated that we can shoot on the rides, unlike Walibi Holland, where the situation and circumstances are still up in the air based on a communication with the park. So I don't know, I'm already thinking this is my favorite Walibi park already. The haunted houses are in fact open today, so if the time permits and the money permits as well, we'll check out some of those too. As you will know from a recent example, which was probably the best one, Fly at Phantasialand, we can't mess around with the reasons why we're here. So we're going to go to Kondaa first and get that credit in, and maybe a couple of rides before we check out the rest of the park. It is actually located at the back of the park as well, as I spy on the map. So yeah, we're going to do it. I can see it in the distance. Let's go and give you a sort of idea of what the park is laid out on this side before we get down there. We're about to enter a scare zone, as we always try to avoid as much crowd footage as possible for people that don't know where we're shooting. We'll do our best here. Pumpkin juice. Don't think I've ever had such. Don't think I want any either. Hello. This is pretty nicely set up, actually. I think that is the pumpkin juice machine just doing its thing. We better go check this out. That's pretty wild. Bonjour. Oh, it's so nice to be in a country of which I can actually speak a language that they understand. So we're leaving the park. Not for bad reasons. It's perfectly fine. We just bought a speedy pass, and just to give you an idea of what the Halloween situation is about, indeed you do actually have to purchase individual tickets for the houses, of which there are 5, except mine Blast is free. And then in addition to that, you can get a combination ticket with the haunted houses and the rides. That would cost you 120 euros. 80 euros just for unlimited rides with the Speedy Pass, of which I purchased because, yes, that's quite expensive, but I do want to enjoy my final day here in Europe. And there is a fair amount of kids here because it is a holiday week. So yeah, I'm going to skip that whole experience, if you will. So I'm sorry for any Belgian vlog bombers that won't have the opportunity. Really, the reason why I get the Speedy Pass is because you do get harassed a lot in the lines when you're on your own and clearly not from the region. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of a pass, as you can see in the background, with people already trying to get ahead in the vlog. But we're here for the rides, and that's the main thing. The one thing that is irritating, however, is that Kondaa is only a one-time ride with your Speedy Pass, no matter which one you get. So I'm gonna have to actually queue in the regular queues for that, but for everything else, it's unlimited. So just a little insight into what the setup is here. I gotta go back to the car actually because I don't have enough memory for the camera. So we'll see you in a second, and then we'll go on Kondaa. Gotta love those European WC signs. They're straight to the point. Okay, we're back in the park. It's just afternoon. I'm going to take my time before we get to Kondaa in the back now. It's a slight change of plans now that I have everything set up. I might get a quick bite, but we're going to go around the lake on the opposite side of where Kondaa is and kind of end over there. There's 9 coasters to do here, including other attractions, so it's going to be a busy day. Fortunately, with the Fast Pass, I don't have to worry too much about lines, which means that I can get most of what I want in without having to run around and being out of breath on the camera. The Power Wave rocking in the background here. The clones that you can't escape, one of which is Cobra. Not currently operating, however it was earlier. It looks like they have a technical issue going on currently, as there is a line. We'll come back. I'm sure we'll get this credit at some point today. Popcorn's Revenge. Final showings. Now I'm pretty sure this is just a popcorn stand, but it's kind of cool. No, it's actually an attraction of some sort. We're gonna come back to that. Here we have one of the junior coasters in an exact same model as the Indy Blitz that I did yesterday. Or pretty close to it, actually. It's a little bit of a different layout. It's time for my first ever Schwarzkopf shuttle loop. Now there's going to be one just down the road from my home location soon enough if they manage to get it running, which is at Niagara Amusement Park. But this one obviously has been here for quite some time, and it includes a really immersive themed element, so the entire structure is actually enclosed in this building. So it's no better way to start my experience on one of these models than in this particular ride known as Psyche Underground. Definitely looking forward to this. I'm going to take you on board and we'll get maybe one or two rides depending on my impression of it. Probably more than one ride. Let's not kid ourselves. All right, Psyche Underground. I know that is just because I'm here, right? Well, yeah, that just sounds terrible. But second attraction has now gone down, which is Psyche Underground. I'm not trying to be a poet, but yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get a ride on it. The queue already for the Fast Pass in this area was pretty long, so I was already contemplating coming back to it anyway. Yeah, 30-minute wait, so either way, the Fast Pass is definitely worth it, for sure. Alright, well, it's two rides malfunctioning and then the camera malfunctioned on Tiki Waka, so on two rides in a row after I spent the time to try to get that front seat, which I did, but then the camera didn't work. So what else am I going to be doing because of that? I've decided to just hit in the beer. I can't. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm cursed, but I do want to sound like I'm cursed because it just seems like there's just so many mishaps on this trip, including the camera going down, which was kind of very irritating. So I'm just tucking in to a Jupiler Jupiler. And this taco sandwich, if I can get it out, which is really just a burrito with chicken in it. 13 euros, exactly like it was before. You can see that. I'm gonna tuck into this and then I'm gonna get on with my day because, oh, what a start already. I don't want to talk about technical mishaps, but it may just get better insight into what is actually going on during the vlog sometimes. And you're like, why didn't you get footage of that? Or etc. Anyhow, I'm gonna tuck in, get this done, and then we'll go back on some rides. Three drop towers in 3 days, but this is an Intamin. Profitez la vue, as the attendant told us on the way up. C'est vrai? Oh, here we go. The best.
Oh yeah.
The best. C'est meilleur. Okay. It's mine train time. Oh, that's quite a stop. Getting all of my rides in on the POVs, so I'm on a bit of a break from proper filming, but I had to take a moment to just discuss this mine train, because that was great fun. It's all about those hidden details. Calamity Mine, that bell on the front of the train was fantastic as it just took you through the course. I thought it was pretty short, but it turns out it's got 3 trains on the course. So, you know, this is the park's version of Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. But yeah, that was great family fun times, if I can really like say it in any other way. Just took the course perfectly. Yeah, lots of great twists and turns and diving drops, and the rock structure of which it goes through 2 lift hills, as you saw in the POV. Yeah, that was just generally a great little ride. I'm very surprised by it. Shoot the Rapids, which was the park's log flume. Fantastic ride. Frontwards drop, backwards drop, turntables, double down. Really great ride and a fantastic layout. Theming was a little bit like, remind me of Storm Force from Drayton, but yeah, when it comes down to it, we gotta avoid that because I'm next to the Power Wave, which I'm going on next. It's not too well attended, and I feel it's because it's gonna get me pretty wet, but we gotta do it. I've never been on one before, and they're very rare in North America, so yeah, this is, I believe, the prototype, as a matter of fact, that is located here. It's been here for some time. It's very unique, and we're going to get on it for the first time now. Definitely looking forward to it. Should be a wild ride. Probably going to be pretty wet afterwards, so we'll see how that works out after.
Ça mouille. Non, mais si, il va te mouiller, non? Non, on va aller à l'envers. Mais non, on va aller en arrière. Ah, ouais, on va en arrière. Allez. Papa! Il est où, papa? Il est mort.
Alright, just got off Pulsar front row ride. I'm sure if I was on the middle seat, I probably wouldn't be as wet as I got. That is not chlorified water as well. That is definitely straight up lagoon water. Great ride though, fantastic. Lots of stomach sensation even on that first drop. I'm a big fan of backwards launches, especially over like a airtime hill. It's one of my new favorite elements, and this ride definitely lives up to that. It's great. So we're gonna go on. I will say I'm kind of spending my time getting on-ride POVs and not covering much footage of the rides themselves. So anything that you see is intercut from later on in the day. Thus, if you are seeing, you know, different light qualities from the day, that's because of that. Anyhow, all the scare mazes have opened, including Rebellion Land, which is a scare zone. We saw the guys from this earlier. So we're gonna have a look. They're inviting us in. We're going in. Rebellion Land. I'd really say they're just park maintenance employees that have gotten a little out of hand here. But a very interesting and well put together sort of setup here. Uh-oh. He ain't happy. Au revoir. Les gens. Nice little scare zone, probably better at night. Reminds me of what Tully's had set up for the penitentiary or the cell block. That fantastic, unbelievable area that they had. Definitely a show that occurs there as well. Probably later in the day. If we have the opportunity, we'll definitely go and check it out. I'm not a scare actor, yet maybe I should walk around like a scare actor, so that way I'd get less attention. Or maybe people would give distance for the camera. All right, I'm being a goof. Au revoir. No sooner than we leave one area, another area is up and running, and the Belgian Guard are here to create. Are they here to protect us, or are they here for something else? Oh no. We better go. Allez, allez. This guy is just hanging out here, waiting for victims. I don't know what his deal is. Oh yes, it's like a high school overrun. Oh. We certainly would like to check out some of these scare zones if we can. I correct myself. Haunted houses or scare mazes. been a long trip.
Et on refait pas la queue. Tu choisis. Tout devant ou tout derrière.
So we're now in the over queue, or the extended queue for Kondaa after 4 rides on it. Primarily in the front. I got one close to the back, around 5 rows from the back. The single rider queue in this particular setup is excellent. It's pretty much a walk-on as soon as you get into that area. But what do I think of Kondaa? The Intamin Mega Coaster. Really a fantastic ride in the sense that super smooth, a great first drop. That first airtime hill right behind me is excellent. The rest of the ride is okay. I was expecting a little bit more force throughout. The non-inverted cobra roll was interesting, but nothing really spectacular compared to, say, the one that I experienced on Max Force, which was phenomenal and had an actual inversion to it. So I feel like this ride should have had one or two inversions just to add a little bit more element to it. That final run through those bunny hills and the sort of snap turn, as well as a sort of minor helix, definitely, oddly enough, was not that fast. I expected it to be a lot more crazier. In person, this ride is smaller than you would think. It definitely has more of a Megalight feel to me than anything else, even though I haven't been on a Megalight yet. Still, that being said, excellent theming throughout. That's probably one of the best parts about this ride. It's got an awesome theme, and it's situated in the park excellently. Still a great ride, not quite what I was expecting as far as feeling it would be one of the best rides of 2021. I would have to go back and retally what came out that year to actually give a genuine sort of impression as to what is the best ride to be released last year. But certainly the best ride, well, you know, Ride to Happiness came out the same year as this ride, so that is definitely the superior ride of the two, sadly for Kondaa. But still, great ride, probably one of the best in the park after further assessment, because I still have 4 more coasters to get on, possibly only 3, as it appears Werewolf is still going to be down for the entire day. That's Kondaa. Great ride, definitely worth a shot if you're in the area, and you get a lot of re-rides on it if you're so inclined, which is definitely something that I'm going to do at the end of the day if I manage to get back here, because it's kind of in its own little section and it takes a bit of time to get to before you can get back to the rest of the park. Anyhow, I'm going to go back to the rest of the park and get on the rest of the rides that I haven't done yet, and then maybe come back, because Kondaa, it's down right now. The jinx continues. It went down while we were on the train. I had to get off. We reboarded. They sent the train out. One of the girls on the ride was saying, "Is it going to be safe?" And they were like, "Yeah, it's fine." Sure enough, a couple trains later, now they've shut down the entire ride. So I'm going to carry on, get on to the rest of the park, get some of those other rides in that I missed earlier, and then maybe get back to Kondaa later. Stuck on Kondaa. If there is no evidence needed more, we're stuck on Kondaa now. This was my 5th ride. I'm in the back, which is fine. This is my last ride on it. Well, since I'm trapped on the ride, I might as well give my review of the back seat since I'm on it. I definitely would say this is a back seat ride over the front. Way more snappier through those inversions. That was the immediate thing I noticed, as well as that final run was way more to my expectation as far as the pops and the ejector and the little airtime hills, and that sort of like twisted section where you do the direction change was way more effective in the back. So I'm glad I came back for this final seat or final ride in the back. However, I don't know when I'm going to get back to the rest of the park, because I got 4 credits still to cover, and hopefully some haunted houses, but we'll see. They said the technical team is coming out to let us off of the ride, which they've already arrived. It certainly, Kondaa's had some issues throughout the time that I've been here for the last hour, so I presume that it's probably going to be shut down pretty soon. So I'm glad that I got in it when I did. So 5 rides done, great ride, but I'd like to bid adieu to Kondaa now. All right, we were ahead of the game and now we're behind because of that delay. So we're gonna get through the final section of the park. We're actually gonna hit things very fast because we got an on-ride POV at Tikiwaka to do. And then I gotta go back to Psyche Underground, and then I'm gonna end the arsenal with the 2 worst coasters probably in the park. 2 Vekomas, 2 Vekoma clones. You can tell how much I'm looking forward to that.
Archeologen zijn verdwaald. Dus help ze alsjeblieft als je kan. Je sais que vous ferez tout ce qu'il faut pour faire de cette incroyable mission une vraie réussite. We zijn blij dat je nu deel uitmaakt van ons team.
This is the challenge at Tutakamen. I don't even know what this is about, but we're gonna find out. It certainly is a dark ride. It's a shoot 'em up dark ride. What else? It is trackless, however, so that's kind of cool.
Zeg, dat was niet zo.
I'm glad I came back here because that might be my favorite interactive dark ride I've ever ridden. Just that even first effect of the girl that just like transformed into a skeleton, what a fantastic effect. And then those zombies or like the mummified creatures that came out and leaned at you, they were so realistic and the lighting was so effective in there that they kind of look really realistic. And then you had that dark room where they were crawling above you. That was really impressive. I'm actually blown away by how good that attraction was for what it is. So yeah, if you're here, don't miss that. Tutakamen, even like that sort of sense of humor at the end of the ride where the mummy, or at least the pharaoh that was still in the case is choking the prospector or whatever. That was really good. Prospector, archaeologist. Yeah, that was a great ride. I'm really impressed by that particular number because, wow, really cool. Had I not had the Fast Pass, I might not have given it a shot, but I'm certainly glad I did. One of the more impressive dark rides I've ridden on this tour, and totally didn't expect that. And we carry on.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please.
We are waiting in the Psyche Underground corridor. I've already done one ride on it, but I just asked for a front seat, which is, again, the bonus of having this wristband, because it's not easy to get that, as per most amusement parks these days. You don't get to choose your spot. But if you have the fast track and you ask nicely, you will get that. So you'll get a POV of it right after this. And then I'll give you a mild review. It was pretty, let's give a review now. You know, it was very rickety to start with. I do like the fact that because this thing is inside entirely, it's completely disorientating coming out of that loop on the way back. You don't even know which way's up once you get out of it, which really added to the effect with the strobes and the lighting. Yeah, I thought we were actually going up another section of track. I thought I was on like the new version of this ride at Knott's Berry Farm because yeah, it definitely threw me off a bit. That's what happens when you have that awkward perspective with lighting and a completely enclosed ride that's in the dark with an inversion. All right, I think I'm up next. Psyche Underground.
Stop the system! Qui vient perturber mon repos? Instrument te komen? Je te trouverai. Ons komen zult gij niet meer. Ik heb je. Zo heet Ignores-tu l'existence de Sansar? Ik ben Sansar, de oude dienaar van de sultan. Wat hij daar? Mais tu tiens la petite lampe à huile du vieux marchand, ça alors? De kleine olielamp met alleen de geest van de jonge enthousiaste Babas. Babas, le génie gai et rigolo. Babas, ook populair bij de vrouwtjes. Babas, idool des femmes. Hoe durft gij die lamp te stelen van die oude koopman? Voler cette lampe à huile du vieux marchand, quel culot! Tu la lui ramèneras tout de suite. Weg, weg, weg met die lamp uit mijn paleis. En vlug! Totaal geen respect. Draaimolen. Als van mijn escalier. Onthouden zijn.
Et maintenant, suivez-moi au palais. Ceux qui osent me suivre, mais rassurez-le.
Quel beau palais!
Monsieur peut s'asseoir. Dommage, trouwens ook. Ga maar zitten, ga maar zitten.
On l'appelle pas, s'il vous plaît?
Où es-tu? Vas-y, train. Allez, montre-toi. Ah, ta veille. Et te voilà. Va-tout, traîneur. Mais attention, tu arroses les gens. Allez, où es-tu maintenant? Vas-y, traîne.
Well, just finished that Aladdin's feature. What a pesky monkey that is. He just started rubbing on that lamp like crazy despite the warnings. That was kind of funny. You know, it was a Vekoma Madhouse. It wasn't the greatest one that I've done, that's for sure. Really is hard to do any of those and expect them to be better than Hex at Alton Towers now that I've done that one. Or Villa Volta, also at F-Telling, which has been a while since I've done it, but that was the first one I ever did. But it was still all right. Nothing really special. Now we're off to do a couple more rides. I would have checked out the Freak Show that's going on behind me, but unfortunately that delay on Kondaa has made my time a little less than what I would have liked. But we're still getting a full day here, and it's been a great old day here at Walibi Belgium, which is nice to say after... Okay, I'm not going to keep going on about it. We're at the end of the tour. There's less than an hour and a half left in my overall park tour of 2022 in Europe. So we're going to enjoy the last bit here. 2 more rides. I'm not so sure I'm going to enjoy these coasters, however, as you know what's coming up. But before we do, we have one more water ride that we have to do, which is the raft ride. The boats on it are so massive that I have to give it a shot, even if it is later in the day and I'm going to get a little wet on it. But that being said, it looks fabulously detailed, as you can see. It's called Raja River, and it's up next. Shaking on this boat, yo. We're stuck. We ain't moving. Oh, maybe. Oh, we are stuck, and I think this boat is gonna push us in, or we're gonna. There we go. Or what? Uh-oh. Pas bon, pas bon, pas bon. Ah. Oui. Oh no. Oh. They are standing up in their boat and getting in crap for that right now.
Dear adventure.
I'm glad I'm not on the Billie Eilish boat right now. Bunch of Billie Eilish lookalikes. Billie Eilish wannabes. Hey, the bird's just checking us out there. Spray jets above are going to be problematic. Problematic problems. Problematic areas coming up. Oh dear. Oh no. Time for a refresh. Oh! Ah! 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 Woo! Hey! Fantastic. Except for the taste. Ne goûtez pas bien.
J'ai pas été encore trop touché.
Faut que j'ai levé mon derrière, hein, parce que là...
Okay, well that's that. Not a bad ride actually. We got the extended tour there as well. The SS Eilish does not look impressed. One of two clones that's going to end our day. Well, not entirely, as we'll probably do some re-rides and maybe a haunted house or two. A Vekoma boomerang known as Cobra. Boomerang for what it is. And now for the next ride, before we sort of wrap up the day here, Popcorn Revenge, as I had seen it on the way in. Still on a 5-minute wait, need some love. Final showing. I have no idea what this dark ride's about. I believe it's a dark ride. Let's hope. We're going in. Certainly some funny posters here if you're into tongue-in-cheek or, you know, childish type of humor, CT. I don't know what we're in for in this ride. The theming is so unusual. The walking corn. Avacor. best things come to those who wait, as Werewolf is up and running, so we're gonna actually go over and do that now. And then that will be my first Vekoma wood coaster. I know anyone that knows this stuff will say, well, that's not a big deal at all. But, you know, it has to be done at some point. So we're gonna go and do that since it's right here first, and then we'll go back and end with an SLC. Sava Samya, Sava Samya. Take a bit of a risk. I still have the SLC to do, but I figured I can't leave this park without doing at least one haunted house. So we're doing the Forgotten. I do need to just make sure. It is a Scarometer 05 of 5, which is what we want. So I'll let you know what it's like on the way out. It was one of my favorite little themed areas coming in. So we'll see what it's about. It looks like the military has taken over. If I survive, I'll let you know how it is on the way out. I don't like our luck, but we're trying to get through the crowd to get to the SLC before it closes the fast track. We'll see. Something exploded all over the floor here, this cannon. There's certainly a lot that we've missed for the haunt. I'm gonna give you a review of the Forbidden once I find out my fate with this SLC. Alas, I felt like I was making an executive decision. There's a bug in my eye because I ran over here and there's like lots of bugs in this wood area. Ugh. But that's besides the point. I didn't make it to Vampire in time, so that's one SLC that I'm gonna have to review another day if it survives. Say another visit to this park. That all said, the Forgotten was an excellent haunted house, and I'm glad that I actually chose to do that over the SLC. Not really having the perspective of knowing what I would have missed out on had I not done at least one in this park. Which brings me to the haunt, which if I had planned this a little bit more accordingly and say been closer so that way I got to the park early enough, I probably would have done every single haunted house here, because that was excellent. It was just, there was so much going on. There was over 20 actors. Even in some rooms they had 3 to 4 actors in one section. There was a lot of, so essentially you're introduced, you go through this sort of like weird like closed off area, which is, I found out was the queue line, because there's like a pre-queue and then there's a secondary queue, much like the Walibi event in Holland, except the secondary queue was in a themed area that seemed like it was an actual scare maze, but it was not. It was actually just the queue with a little bit of decorative elements to sort of establish the tone and the mood of what you were about to experience. After that, you do go into the main building, of which there is a guy who sort of ushers you in. He's in sort of a smock and robes, and the whole overall theme seemed to be a monastery that kind of took over a backwoods location, or maybe a defunct monastery in the woods. There was kind of like a weird sort of spiritual element to it, but it was definitely kind of a cabin in the woods type of feel. You get ushered into one of these 5 tunnels, and then the experience kind of separates you and then rejoins you in various rooms. There was a very weird section in the middle with a large jeweled element of which 2 monks were like guarding, and there was also numerous corridors and passageways of which you had to go underneath. The best one, I would say, because a lot of claustrophobic spaces and blackout rooms, you just walk in to a room and it suddenly just turns entirely black. It was very effective. There's a lot of areas where you had to crawl, so it was definitely not accessible for most people. And then the best part was this tunnel that kind of, you don't know where you're going, it's just completely black and pitched out, and the room just starts to get smaller and smaller and smaller, and the ceiling starts to cave in on you. Very effective. And then you get out of it and you think, okay, it's done, and you go through another section where there was like a shaman and a bunch of heads and stuff, and a pyre with a bunch of sacrifices, and God knows what was going on there. You go around that and then into another completely blacked out section that led you to the exit. But that area seemed to be missing something, because there was like a large strobing light that led you towards the exit. But I have a feeling that there's probably supposed to be an actor in there that's supposed to jump out at you and attack you. Didn't miss that because the rest of the maze was fantastic. I'd say decorative elements weren't like up to par, like say with Hollywood Horror Nights or the more premium types of haunts that you experience. But I'd say this was way better than Walibi Holland's offering from what I actually experienced there. And then finally you get out of the maze, and then that's it. So it was definitely, from what I experienced with the Walibi Holland perspective to this one, the price points for the Walibi Holland mazes, which were 10 euros each, these ones were twice as long, or at least the one that I experienced was twice as long, and way more worth the money. So if you're here and you want to check out a decent haunt event, even the one over at Babyaland was excellent compared to what I experienced at Walibi Holland. So yeah, don't sleep on Belgian haunt events, because they're actually affordable for Europe and really well put together. All right, I gotta get out of here because it's now vlog bombing time. Everyone's starting to leave the park, and so am I. I'm going to my favorite city in Europe still to end my night, and then I got to fly home after that. But really one of the most fantastic parks that I actually experienced during my trip here Walibi Belgium. I do have a couple more things that I need to wrap up still, so I'll probably cover that outside of the park and give you a little bit of atmosphere while we walk out.
Mama, ik denk dat het mooi dan best
Guys, that is it from Walibi Belgium. That is the trio of major Belgian parks, as far as I know it, done. I can't believe that I've actually on the tail end of this experience. And this was one of the best ones, I will say, of my entire trip. A lot of great coasters. They did manage to get everything up and running, which was fantastic. So I did get on Werewolf. Had I been a little bit more organized, as per every single vlog in this tour, I probably would have had a little bit more space and time to get on that SLC, but that's fine. We've been on enough of those already in this trip alone, so yeah, I'm not going to shed a tear over that, because if it had come down to doing the Forgotten, as I mentioned, versus that, I definitely would have rather done the Forgotten. That was an excellent maze, and makes me feel bad because now it's actually, oh, I wish I'd done all 3 of the other ones to complete my experience with the haunt here. It's definitely well put together. Lots of scare actors for a Tuesday. These haunts only run for 2 weeks generally in Belgium, from what I'm understanding, as well as in Holland, at least for the peak season, where they run like for 2 consecutive weeks. If you are interested in coming here, yes, Kondaa is a great coaster. It's not world class, unfortunately, like I expected it would be. The coaster arsenal here isn't exactly going to draw most people in from around the world by any stretch of the imagination, but it has an amazing dark ride. It also has, for what you do have on offer, a Power Wave, which is a very unique coaster and very, very cool. I didn't give a review of Werewolf itself as I was riding in the front, and I did get a back seat, so that also compromised my time at the end. But I really wanted to kind of get that in, and boy, that was a rickety one. If people, I don't think that wood coaster is highly rated. In fact, I think it's known as one of the worst. And it was pretty rough, but it was a long ride, and all right, you know, considering I was on Colossus yesterday, that was certainly what a wood coaster is supposed to feel like. So yeah, it wasn't too bad, but yeah, I don't think it's more re-rideable than, say, the 2 rides that I had on it. So Popcorn's Revenge was an unusual dark ride as well, but I definitely enjoyed it. And you know, for those shoot 'em up games, like, it was decent, and like the theming was unusual, but seemed to work for here. That all said, definitely check this park out if you're in the Belgium area. If you're doing like Plopsaland, if you're doing Toverland or anything like that around here, or Bobbyland especially, you definitely have to check it out. Around this time last year, I was just getting into Orlando to do all the haunts there for the first time, and now here a year later, I've done a lot, not all of them by any stretch of the imagination, but a good chunk of European haunts, of which some have been spectacular, some have been not so spectacular and very expensive, and you know what I'm talking about, and you know who you are. And yeah, some have been sort of like more family-ish run and still excellent overall. And all of those all the good ones were in Belgium, I'll say that much. Except for one in the UK, which was spectacular, and that was Tully's Farm. All right, guys. Besides the point, hope you enjoyed all of those vlogs and the wrap here. That's Walibi Belgium. Hope to come back in a couple of years' time and maybe come back for the haunt for sure, because it was definitely worth checking out. Thanks for watching, guys. Gotta get some rest. Always enjoy.